These are the rudder pedals out of the Chinook. They're upside down right now, but I want to show you what I'm going to fix on there. They've been in there 20 years, but this is where you rest your heel when you're working the rudder pedals, and these rivets are working loose here. I've got a backup washer on them, but they're definitely loose. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take them and drill these rivets out and increase the size of that rivet to a 3/16 to make them a little bit stronger. Now I put 3/16 rivets in there. That seems pretty tight. I'm willing to bet that that rudder pedal is going to last for another 20 years, maybe longer. I got these little heel rests fixed on these rudder pedals now. What I did was I put a 3/16 pop rivet in there, and boy, they're on there tight now. I think that's going to last a long time. But I painted them black again, just repainted them so they don't reflect in the Lexan plastic that covers the cockpit. And people are wondering why it takes so long for me to get this stuff done, and I can tell you I get sidetracked all the time by other projects. So to put these big 3/16 pop rivets on, my hands are, I got a lot of arthritis and stuff, and it's pretty hard for me to pop a 3/16 rivet with a hand riveter. So I used a hydraulic riveter because I wanted to get in there and pop that rivet in there, if you can see what I'm doing there. That's how I put it in there. But this pneumatic riveter didn't work. It wouldn't pop the rivet. So I had to fix the riveter first. So this started as another project. And I got this riveter a long time ago. I think somebody gave it to me. I know I had it before I even started building the Chinook. But anyways, what I needed to do was replace the oil. There's an air cylinder, there's a piston in here, and the air goes in and pushes a big piston, which is the diameter of this bore right here. And when it drives that piston forward, there's a rod on it, which is really another piston that goes through some O-rings here, and it pushes oil down this handle up in here, which there's a piston in here that draws the nail out of there. That'll break the nail in the rivet. So I'll show you what that part looks like. Now there's the nail, it's held in these jaws here. When you put the next rivet in, it'll push this one out, and it comes out through this hole right here. So that hole goes all the way through, and that's how it gets rid of the rivet. But the next one will push it out. So what I did here was I turned that nose down a little bit by doing some careful measuring. I decided there was enough wall thickness in there that I could machine off a little bit of this, and I think I got it fixed so it'll get a little bit closer to something, closer to an edge like that to put that rivet in there. But really what I probably should have done is put this rivet more up this way, maybe. Might have been a better deal. I was worried about interference where this is where this rudder pedal moves. So I was kind of worried about that when I put that bolt in there, getting it in. So that's probably why they're down there in the corner, but it's pretty hard to pop the rivet when it's down there. So anyways, that's how this riveter works. But because there's a piston in here and a spring in here, there's springs on this end, it's full of oil, and the oil leaked out. That's what the problem was over the years. I mean, it's a long time. I mean, it's This thing's probably at least 30 years old. So, which is probably why somebody gave it to me. But it always worked good, but the oil leaked out. And to fix it, what I had to do was get this snap ring out of there. And to get the snap ring out, I needed snap ring pliers. Well, I went to O'Reilly's and different places, and I have snap ring pliers around here. But I didn't have anything big enough for an internal snap ring like that. So, since I couldn't real quickly come up with the snap ring pliers, I saw that Harbor Freight has a bunch of them. They're selling on sale now, but for like $100 for the set. I'm not going to pay $100 for snap ring pliers just to get this apart. So I think you could buy a whole new rivet gun like that for 40 bucks. So it's, anyways, what I did is to get something that was wide enough to fit in there, that snap ring, I took this pair of channel locks, and I just took a twist drill like this and drilled through the jaws. Now you couldn't use real channel locks probably. They're probably heat treated pretty good. You probably couldn't drill a hole in them, but these are some kind of cheap things. It's called True Fit, it says. Anyways, I tried drilling it, and the drill cut just fine, and I put a hole through there. After I got the hole in there, then I took the drill and I took a little rotary tool to cut this drill off, and I made two short pieces, maybe 1/2 inch long pieces on that drill, and then dropped them in the hole that I drilled and put the red Loctite. This is the high strength Loctite in there, and dropped those in there. I didn't drill all the way through. I almost went all the way through, but I decided I wouldn't. I'll just leave them right there. So I don't have a way to get these out. They'll stay in there. But with that red Loctite, after you put those in with red Loctite on them, I just stuck it under a light bulb, the machine light on the drill press, just to heat it. It'll get this thing, if you get this thing to about 150 degrees, 200 degrees, something like that, it's going to set real fast. The Loctite, it'll set within an hour. It'll be tight in there. And then I use that to remove that snap ring. Then once I got the snap ring out, there was just, this thing's actually made out of plastic. This black piece here, that's just plastic with an O-ring on the outside, on the OD of it. That's just what seals the end of the cylinder. And then in order to get that out of there, I just put the air hose on it and hit the trigger, and it blew that right out of there. I draped a rag over it because I knew it would come out of there pretty fast. So I had a rag to catch it, and once this is out, then you can go in and pull the piston and this rod out of there. And then I just turned it vertically in the vise to hold it for me, and poured oil down in that little hole. The rod's maybe about a 1/2 inch diameter rod. When it's working on this big piston, you can see there's a big increase in pressure on that hydraulic oil in there. So that's how these things work. It's hydraulic, and the piston up here is what draws back and pops that rivet. So anyways, that's how I fixed it. But you see, it was another project and something else I had to make in order to pop that big rivet there, because I really couldn't do it very well by my hands. I might have been able to pop 1 or 2 of them, but my hands are too sore for that. Anyways, that's what the deal is with the pedals. But now I do want to say one other thing too. This heel rest is not something that came with the Chinook kit. This was my idea on there, because I find it to be a lot more comfortable, especially if you're on a long trip or something, to have your heel resting on there and you're just flapping your feet back and forth to steer. I think that works good. So it's just a piece of angle that I added on there, but that didn't come with the kit.